Now that I have read this book, I feel very strongly about dropping his curl typing system or redefining it, because an undefined fro is not a hair type, as in 4B hair, but is a hairstyle that can be achieved with multiple hair types. Before, I thought that people who insisted type 4 hair does not have a defined curl pattern were unreasonable, because if your hair isn't straight, it has a curl or wave pattern. So how can someone say that one hair type does not have a defined curl pattern but isn't straight? I don't understand. Hello, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Kinky Nikki, Kinky Diaries. The topic of today's video is Andre Walker's book, Andre Talks Hair, in which he introduced the, to this day, well-known hair typing system, categorizing the hair types from 1 to 4. Type 1 being straight hair, type 2 wavy hair, type 3 curly hair, and type 4 kinky hair. He wished to give his readers a personalized cleansing, conditioning, and styling recommendations based on the hair type you have. He introduces his hair typing system in the second chapter of his book. Type 1 hair is straight hair, as in hair that does not have a curl or wave pattern. The subcategories differentiate the hair diameter, 1A being fine hair, 1B medium, and 1C coarse textured hair. Fine hair has the smallest strand diameter and coarse hair the largest. Think Asian hair. They usually have coarse textured hair. Strong, resilient, thick stranded hair. Type 2 hair is wavy hair. It has an S pattern but lies flat on the scalp. The subcategories are again 2A fine, 2B medium, and 2C coarse textured hair. So just from that, 1s and 2s do not differentiate in what kind of wave pattern type 1 does not have a wave pattern, but type 2 is not differentiated in what kind of wave pattern you have. The subcategories change from types 3 to 4. Type 3 curly hair, 3A being loose curls, and 3B medium-sized corkscrew curls. Type 4 kinky hair, 4A being hair that only when stretched has an S curl. As you can see, that is definitely not the case with my hair. My hair is not stretched and it kind of looks S curly or maybe even zigzag. And it isn't stretched. And he says that 4B hair has a zigzag pattern. All this is good until he explains how to know if you have type 4A hair or 4B hair. He wrote that if you have a defined curl pattern, your hair is 4A, and if it is undefined, it is 4B. This makes no sense to me. He also says that healthy type 4 hair is soft to the touch, but this isn't true for everyone. My hair isn't and never was soft. The example picture of 4B hair was someone with a really short TWA. Absolutely nothing against TWAs. It's just you can't see the curl pattern unless you can't see a defined curl pattern, like a pattern just going on, not just one curl, but more and more and more curls if the hair is too short. And in his book, he also states in order to find out your curl type, you need at least 1 inch of growth. But the picture he chose was someone with hair much less than an inch. So what is it? In chapter 3, Andre Walker states that he does not believe in heat protectants and that hair should be clarified every 6 weeks. So maybe that's where the clarifying culture of the 6-week schedule comes from. I don't know. Type 1 and 2 should shampoo their hair on the daily, while type 3 hair should be rinsed with water daily and shampooed every 3 days. Yeah, I can imagine that taking a lot of time, and if you only rinse your hair with water as a type 3, that's not a good refresh, I think. He says that type 4 hair should be shampooed once or twice a week. He also says that type 4 hair needs a protein-focused shampoo every time with shea butter, sulfur. I don't know why type 4 hair needs sulfur. Glycerin, which is a humectant, and carotene. Type 4 hair needs to be deep conditioned twice a month, he says. He also mentioned using hot oil treatments with olive oil. And if you don't already know how I feel about olive oil on hair, I hate it. And mayonnaise or avocado hair masks as alternative conditioners. Chapter 4 is about hair cutting. Of course, he doesn't teach how to cut your own hair, so just don't. Chapter 5 is about chemical services, and this is where my stomach turned a little bit. He talks about the fact that he would relax a type 4 person, but would at least try to talk someone with type 3 curls out of relaxing their hair, and if they insisted, he would send them away to another stylist. He also mentions that henna reduces the hair's elasticity, which I know by experience. Chapter 6 is about gray hair care. What I found interesting is that he recommends blue shampoo for gray hair to keep the hair from looking dirty or discolored. In chapter 7, he talks about different scalp conditions and hair loss types and what to do when experiencing these things. Long story short, if you see any abnormal changes in your hair and or scalp, go see a dermatologist. Chapter 8 is about extensions. Chapter 9 about how to find a stylist that can fulfill your needs. Number 2 of his tips was that hairstylists need to have hair in good shape. But what if the hairstylist doesn't have any hair? Or just doesn't care that much about their hair? What really matters is if the stylist's clients have hair that is in good condition. But to be fair, Instagram wasn't that big at the time. In chapter 10, he shares his hairstyling ideas, and chapter 11 has Q&As. After reading the entire book, I can say that Andre Walker had no business making a hair chart for curly, coily hair. I don't understand why the A's, B's, and C's in type 1 and type 2 describe the strand thickness, but have different parameters in type 3 and type 4 hair. He says that type 4B has a zigzag curl pattern, but he also says that 4B hair is undefined. So how does he know the curl pattern then? He relaxes type 4 hair without thinking twice, but tries to talk people with type 3 hair out of relaxing their hair, although type 4 hair is more fragile. At the point of writing this book, or at least he conveyed it that way, he really only had experience straightening curls and coils. Now that I have read this book, I feel very strongly about dropping his curl typing system or redefining it. Because an undefined fro is not a hair type, as in 4B hair, but is a hairstyle that can be achieved with multiple hair types. Before, I thought the people who insisted type 4 hair does not have a defined curl pattern were unreasonable. Because if your hair isn't straight, it has a curl or wave pattern. So how can someone say that one hair type does not have a defined curl pattern but isn't straight? I don't understand. And when 4B is already at the undefined fro, where does that leave for C hair? I really enjoyed the hair typing system because it made African hair types searchable. I could type a hair routine for type 4 hair or hair routine for type ABC hair and didn't have to scroll through thousands of search results showing straight, wavy, or just generally Caucasian people's hair. Just like the term natural hair. All this was helpful. But when a curl pattern is no defined curl, how is this helpful? Curl definition is a styling question. And how did the terms 3C and 4C come about? If 4B is undefined, then 4C is super undefined. From what I see on social media, most of us have a tight S curl once our hair is defined. So if our hair is in a wash and go, we have 4A hair, and when we only slap on leave-in on our hair, it is 4B or 4C, the same head of hair. And before you tell me that my hair is so easy to define and I don't understand that people with real 4C hair can't define their curls ever, have you tried really hydrating your curls? And doing so consistently for months, for years, forever? I challenge you to try it. I challenge you to cleanse, condition, and style your hair every week, not every 14 days, not every 3 weeks. I've seen people on YouTube that never wash their hair, period. Only spritzing with water and then slap on some oil on it. They usually leave their hair in twists and don't unravel them until they retwist them. Did you know that your hair could also adsorb water? Like when you spray water on it, adsorb, meaning the water droplets being outside of the strand, never getting in, and waiting to evaporate into the hair. And there is no defined curl type. And hair that is short might curl up on itself, and then when longer, turn into little S curls. So when your hair is ear length, it can be 4B, and when beyond shoulder length, 4A. Let's stop this. Because of the weight. The heavier my hair is, the more it will kind of be heavy, and the more my curls stretch out. Generally, the heavier the hair, the more stretched it's going to be. Let's just stop this. Andre Walker did not talk about curl diameter differences like we do in the Type 4s, and even if he did, they are way too unique. And even the separation he makes from curly hair and kinky hair, knowing that both is curly hair. It is just smaller than the average curl. How do you feel about the hair typing system? Is it helpful? Should we keep it? How has the curl typing system helped you? Where did it fall short? What should we change? If you like my content, like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.